Hello. My name is Hallie Halliday, and this is...
Rupert Knoll.
We're currently in production of our new movie, The Wayfarer.
The Wayfarer is a short film about folk myth, following a character of our own creation. Inklings of the film first came about in 2021, after we saw an image of the Dorset Ooser on the cover of a British folklore book. The Ooser has a foggy history at best. In the 1800s, it was recorded as having been utilised in folk plays dating back to the 14th century, but the origins remain unclear, as others suggest that it's a pre-Christian god that had survived in the local memory into the modern period.
This idea of folklore stories and characters being distorted over time is a prominent theme in The Wayfarer, where the image of a character changes across generations of storytelling, and yet through its persistence in the folk memory, it lives long enough to see its own image interpreted hundreds of years later. Inspired greatly by the 1970s British folk movement, the film serves as a circumvention of the typical horrors of landscapes often synonymous with mysterious pagan rituals and burial sites, dispelling the myths that the people who revered figures such as the Wayfarer were primitive in a Neolithic Britain.
The Wayfarer lived in days gone by when people lived in small villages and built monuments for the spirits that they celebrated. It acted as a folk deity for the people, who believed that it ushered in the changing of the seasons and protected the forests that they thrived off of. One day, the people who revered these spirits found their traditions in flux, deemed heretical by religious regime. Their polytheistic beliefs were suppressed, their folk rituals mutated, and their gods recast, as they gave into the dogmatic beliefs spreading across the land like cultural wildfire.
During this period, the Wayfarer was displaced and forced to learn to survive a scarred and forgotten primordial landscape, a land without belief. These sequences will be created using stop-motion animation, featuring needle-felted sets and puppets. A small crew have been putting together these sets over the past week, and myself and two others will be filming the animation from our small studio.
Despite the religious regime, murmurs of a spirit who once wandered the land persisted in the fringes of culture, in small villages, and at the edge of the woods. These murmurs kept the Wayfarer alive, eventually allowing it to find the surface world once more. Here, it discovers that the world it once knew has changed, traversing through the roads and towns that have been built on top of the forest it used to roam. Soon, the Wayfarer finds itself upon a crumbling church, built on top of earthworks and stones that the ancient villagers had built for worship, a display of the misguided progression of beliefs that dispelled the Wayfarer for so long. Trying to escape these harrowing scenes, the Wayfarer follows a warm light in the distance, eventually finding a village fate. Here, the locals are putting on a play of their own story of the Wayfarer, how it slays an ever-present winter, ushering in spring once again.
We have two wonderful producers helping to organise the film, securing the 5 primary locations in and around the Dorset and New Forest area, and casting the members of our village fate. These scenes will be shot in late November with a small crew on mini DV tape cassettes. Meanwhile, our fantastic costume designer has been busy at work bringing the Wayfarer to life, using previous theatre experience to blur the line between mythical creature and folk costume, and ensuring that this can exist in both animation and live action. We're making this independently, so your donation, no matter how big or small, will be a massive support to a low-budget film such as this. Further details on how we plan to spend our budget can be viewed on our Crowdfunder page.
Everyone's hard work is going to culminate into a wonderful film, which we'll be taking to festivals after its completion at the end of the year. We greatly appreciate you listening to us today.
Thank you.